We live in an age surrounded by instant entertainment. Short videos, mobile games, and endless scrolling are always within reach. With a single swipe, stimulation appears immediately. Entertainment has become faster, easier, and more immersive than ever before. Yet alongside this abundance, a quiet contradiction emerges: the more we entertain ourselves, the less satisfied we often feel. This is not a personal failure, but a structural tension of modern life, the tension between instant entertainment and the loss of happiness. To understand this tension, we must begin by asking a fundamental question: what do we mean by happiness? In philosophical thought, happiness has never been defined as simple pleasure. Plato distinguished between two kinds of enjoyment: one grounded in reason, reflection, and the pursuit of truth, and another rooted purely in sensory stimulation. The first contributes to personal growth and self-understanding, while the second offers only temporary relief. Contemporary digital entertainment overwhelmingly appeals to the senses, leaving little room for depth or reflection. Aristotle developed this distinction further through the idea of eudaimonia. For him, happiness was not a fleeting emotion but a way of living, one built through meaningful action, moral practice, and sustained effort. Happiness, in this sense, unfolds over time. Instant entertainment disrupts this process by replacing long-term fulfillment with immediate dopamine rewards. Pleasure arrives quickly and fades just as fast, leaving no lasting sense of purpose. This contrast becomes visible in everyday experience. A craftsperson who spends years refining a skill often gains a deep and enduring sense of fulfillment. In contrast, hours spent scrolling through digital content rarely leave any meaningful trace. When the screen turns off, what remains is often a vague sense of emptiness. This is not because pleasure is harmful, but because pleasure without meaning cannot support happiness. At this point, the question shifts from individual choice to structural influence. Why is instant entertainment so difficult to resist? Philosopher Martin Heidegger argued that technology is never neutral. It shapes how humans relate to time, attention, and themselves. Modern entertainment platforms are designed to capture and monetize attention. Algorithms analyze preferences, predict behavior, and continuously deliver content optimized for engagement. The objective is not well-being, but retention. As a result, users remain absorbed, often without deliberate intention. This logic closely resembles the Frankfurt School's critique of the culture industry. When entertainment is mass-produced and governed by profit, individuals gradually become passive consumers rather than active creators of meaning. Reflection gives way to repetition, and autonomy erodes beneath constant stimulation. Over time, the capacity for critical thought weakens not through force, but through distraction. Social media intensifies this process by reshaping how people understand themselves. Platforms reward visibility, positivity, and performance. Users present highlights rather than realities, constructing carefully curated versions of life. Continuous exposure to these images distorts expectations and encourages comparison. Self-worth becomes increasingly measured through likes, views, and online validation. Instead of asking who we are becoming, we begin to ask how we appear. This environment also disrupts the balance between body and mind. From a metaphysical perspective, human well-being depends on harmony among physical sensation, emotional depth, rational reflection, and inner meaning. Instant entertainment overstimulates the senses while neglecting the inner self. The result is restlessness rather than rest, fatigue rather than renewal. This imbalance contradicts holistic visions of well-being that emphasize integration and harmony. Immanuel Kant argued that true freedom lies not in following impulses, but in rational self-governance. Yet instant entertainment trains the opposite habit. Endless feeds, autoplay functions, and immediate feedback normalize impulsive behavior. What feels like choice gradually becomes compulsion. The ability to pause, reflect, and decide weakens over time. Ironically, many philosophers viewed boredom and silence as valuable conditions for thought. Thinkers such as Hume and Wittgenstein recognized that moments of emptiness create space for creativity and self-understanding. However, contemporary entertainment culture leaves little room for such moments. Every pause is filled, every silence interrupted. Without stillness, the self has no opportunity to emerge. Faced with this tension, philosophy does not demand the rejection of entertainment, but rather a reorientation toward awareness and moderation. Stoic thinkers emphasized self-discipline as a foundation of freedom. Setting boundaries such as limiting entertainment time does not restrict life, but restores agency over attention and time. Eastern philosophy offers a parallel insight. Wang Yangming's idea of the unity of knowledge and action reminds us that understanding values is meaningless without living them. If relationships matter, presence is required. If growth matters, time for reflection must be protected. A meaningful life is not accidental, it is intentionally practiced. Community, culture, and embodied activities also provide alternatives to passive consumption. Engaging in physical movement, traditional practices, communal events, or time in nature demands participation rather than observation. These experiences reconnect individuals with others and with the world, restoring depth to everyday life. Ultimately, the issue is not entertainment itself, but its dominance. When instant pleasure replaces effort, reflection, and connection, happiness becomes fragile and short-lived. Aristotle observed that we become what we repeatedly do. Habits shape character, and character shapes life. Happiness is not found by escaping discomfort, but by living meaningfully within it. Instant entertainment may offer rest, but it cannot replace purpose. The next time the screen lights up, a simple question can change everything: is this helping me recover, or helping me avoid living? That moment of awareness may be the first step toward reclaiming happiness. Thank you.